Good evening, everyone. This is my week 6 discussion post for MPA 530 Public Finance and Budgeting with Dr. Beth A. Groves by Stephanie Searles. In this presentation, I will talk about the 3 major sources of revenue for the City of Banning. I will also explain the nature or equity of the revenue sources and whether they are progressive or perhaps regressive. I will also use information from the city's current budget estimates and the previous collected revenue figures from 2017 through 2020, so stay tuned. Property taxes, sales taxes, and transient occupancy taxes from the 3 major sources of revenue for the City of Banning, or are the 3 major sources of revenue for the City of Banning. Property taxes are those taxes that are paid on property owned by an individual or other legal entities, such as perhaps a corporation. Most commonly, property tax is real estate. The property tax for the 3 financial years, that is 2017 through 18, 2018 through 2019, and 2019 through 2020, obtained from the city's budget report shows that property taxes remained consistently the leading source of revenue for the city. Over 27% of the city's budget was financed by the property taxes alone. In the financial year 2019 through 2020, over $5.3 million was generated for property taxes. The current 2021 through 2022 mid-year budget estimates for Banning City was almost $6 million, still indicating that it will remain the topmost source of revenue for the city. The second source of revenue are collections from sales taxes. Sales taxes can be generated from different sources, including sales and use taxes, cannabis taxes, and the Cabazon outlet, which I frequent often. For the 3 financial years spanning from 2017 through 2020, the City of Banning managed to raise over 18% of its revenues from sales taxes. In the financial year 2019 through 2020, sales taxes amounted to nearly $3.7 million. The city projects to raise over $5.3 million in sales taxes, which is a big chunk of it that's coming from sales and use taxes for the financial year 2022 through 2023, as per the revised mid-year budget, which we will discuss, or which you will be seeing in the next slide. The third major source of revenue for the city is transient occupancy taxes, or shortened as TOTs. Transient occupancy taxes are also called hotel taxes or bed taxes, and is usually charged as a lodging paid by anyone who rents a home, perhaps even a room or space for 30 consecutive days or less. The owner of the premise has the obligation to report and pay the tax charged to every occupant through TOT Online. For the 3 financial years, TOTs raised slightly over 4% of the city's total revenues, with 2020 having a collection of $800,000. The city projects to raise over $900,000 in TOTs for the financial year 2022 through 2023, as per the revised mid-year budget, which I again will also display in the next slide. As you can see, the 3 main sources of revenues, which compares the actual and the projected for the revised mid-year budget, property taxes, sales, and finally, transient occupancy taxes continue to lead as the main sources of taxes. From the 3 main sources of revenue, starting with property tax, we can say that it is regressive. It is regressive because it fails to account for individual income level. Instead, the same tax applies equally, so long as the properties being taxed have the same value. In a study by Edelstein, the real estate tax on residential properties was termed as regressive. However, the statistical analysis suggests that the degree of observed regressivity varies significantly across counties and is the result of 2 forces. First, in many counties, the poor and de facto inequitable assessment practices are the principal causes for property tax aggressivity. Second, in some counties that exhibit relatively equitable and uniform assessment practices, the end product appears to be an income regressive property tax. Hence, the property tax in these counties are intrinsically regressive. Likewise, sales taxes are considered regressive because they take a larger percentage of income from low-income taxpayers rather than from high-income taxpayers. Koenig and Rajaszewski put it clearly that taxes on consumption are regressive. Therefore, with the two leading sources of revenue being property and sales taxes, then I can conclude that the city revenue is fairly regressive. The challenge with such a system is that if taxes are regressive, taking a larger share from low-income budget rather than from high-income budgets, they will contribute to increased inequality in income and consumption opportunities. That is all that I have for this week's discussion post. Thank you very, very much for spending some time with me, and I look forward to hearing all of your posts. Thank you and take care.